What is going on, everyone? Some weird news today in Philadelphia sports media, and it involves Donovan Mcnabb. That's right, the bum Donovan Mcnabb. And he comes out with these statements against Carson Wentz, and it's just ridiculous in my opinion. I don't understand what the hell he is trying to say, and it realistically just comes out because he's salty. He didn't like the way everything went here in Philadelphia. He doesn't have the same connection with Philadelphia as he probably thinks he should have. And I'll be honest, it is weird. Because that type of talent, getting to the NFC Championship game constantly, the Super Bowl, I know it didn't work out as planned, but his talent was elite in his prime, but there was just no connection between us and the fan base. But I blame him. It's not us. It's him. It's the way he handled things. And that's pretty much just reflecting his statements about Carson Wentz. So this is what he said. I think in the next 2 years or so, he needs to find a way to get out of the second round of playoffs. What Nick Foles was able to do shows people can get into this offense and be successful. They should look into getting another quarterback if he can't get out of the second round in 2 or 3 years. Lane Johnson tweeting out, putting snake emojis, and then he puts up a picture and says, "That's my quarterback," with Carson Wentz behind him as he's blocking at the right guard position. McNabb tweets again, a couple tweets in a row trying to justify and trying to explain himself, but the issue's clear. He's salty for how things went down here with the Philadelphia fans. He sees the way we look at Brian Dawkins, Brian Westbrook, and he's, well, what the hell? What the hell? He's upset, and it's clear that we don't treat him like that. But here's my problem with the words that he said. Here's my problem with the mentality that he's going with here. And a lot of fans are saying, well, is he wrong? We might not like the message from who it's coming from, but is he wrong? Yeah, in my opinion, yeah, he's wrong. 2 years? Yes, he's wrong. Injury's a different story. That's not what he's talking about. It's not the injury thing. He's saying if he can't get out of the second round, 2-3 years, time to draft a new quarterback. Here's why that bothers me and makes zero sense. First off, once you get to that round of the playoffs, once you're in the second round and you can't get by it, it's more than just the quarterback play. It's very situational. I'm just going to say this. When we won the Super Bowl, the Atlanta Falcons had a chance to win the game in the divisional round. 4th and goal, red zone. We made a stop. Our defense came up big and made a stop. If our defense did not come up big, who's Nick Foles? Who's Nick Foles? Now, obviously, it's the nature of the beast that everything comes down to the quarterback. I can go through other games. Dallas Cowboys in overtime. We take the lead. Our defense gets shredded and we lose the game. We had a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter to the Panthers and we lose. And I get it. Our fourth quarter offense stalled out, which was a problem, but we had a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter. Our defense shut down. In the Tennessee overtime game, how many 4th and longs do we give up? It's a team game at the end of the day. And it's very situational. If it comes down to Carson Wentz not performing well, okay. But if Carson Wentz is doing a great job, he throws for over 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and our defense can't handle it, and we get blown out defensively, and we get shredded because Jim Schwartz's defense, I'm just making out situations. I'm giving us a circumstance. And we don't get out of the second round. Well, do we get rid of Carson Wentz? It's very situational. It can't be as vague as that statement. Also, if we are getting to the first round, second round of the playoffs, that means we're a team that's in the playoffs, getting ready to make some noise, trying to make a playoff push. He wants to get a new quarterback after 2 or 3 years. Where there's 2 problems with that. One, if we're in that playoff mode, getting to the playoffs, trying to make runs, and we go to a rookie quarterback, well, it takes time to develop in this league. Without a doubt. Also, where would our draft pick be if we're still in the playoffs but not getting past the second round? How much would we have to give up to even go out and get a top-tier quarterback? If we're making the playoffs and we're picking in the 18, 19, 20, I mean, really. You're going to luck out and get a Tom Brady out of Michigan? It just bothers me. It does bother me because of who it's coming from. It bothers me more than it probably would, but it's too vague of a statement. There's a lot that goes into it than just he needs to get out of the second round. But there's so much to dissect, and he should know that coming from an ex-player. I know a lot of heat goes on the quarterback, but I see it differently. It's a team game, and I take a look at a lot of different things. There's a lot of aspects that can change the outcome of a football game. It's ridiculous, and I want to know your thoughts down below on Donovan McNabb, because there are some people out there that actually do like him. I don't know how. The guy's a jerk-off, and it's pretty damn clear to me. He hates Philadelphia. He tries to deny it. He hates us. He despises us because we never showed him the love. But it's how everything played out while his tenure was here. He wasn't this Brian Dawkins-like figure. He had situations off the field that got people sparked up. His mom came into play and got things really going at times, writing in her own blog, writing about other players on the team, just being an outside noise. Don't make it seem like we just picked on you. Don't make it seem like we are just this fan base that decided, you know what, out of no reason at all, let's just destroy Donovan McNabb. No. You brought it on yourself by the way you acted. It is odd, though. There's no denying it. Because he was talented. He was a talented quarterback. And it doesn't help that he actually vomited during the Super Bowl. Unbelievable. But it's clear he's salty to me. And 2 years, to me, that's... No. 2 years? No. That's clearly way too short, in my opinion. Now, obviously, I'm a Carson Wentz guy, and this year is going to be a nightmare because of the Nick Foles thing, and we let the wrong guy go. And it's going to be a nightmare. There's no denying it, especially if Carson Wentz struggles. But I'm not giving up on the kid. If there's other quarterbacks in this league that struggle to get out of the second round, Aaron Rodgers, for example. When was the last time he was out of the second round? Do you just give up on him? Granted, I know that a Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers and Carson Wentz are not on the same level, but there's a lot of great quarterbacks that don't make it out of the second round a couple years in a row, that are on teams that can make some noise. It's very situational, and that honestly is how I describe it all. But of course, it pisses me the hell off that this bum is out here trying to hate on the Eagles. I love that Lane Johnson stepped up. I love that the Eagles are stepping up, having Carson's back. Who the hell is Donovan McNabb? It's a joke. So I want to know. I want to know how you feel on the whole thing, on the Donovan McNabb himself. I want to know, do you like him? Do you hate him? Do you think he's a jerk-off like me? Don't you just feel that he's salty right now? Don't you just feel that he's upset that he doesn't get the love out of this fan base? But do you agree with what he's saying? Are you giving Carson Wentz a 2-year window to get out of the second round? What is that? You can't just have an obnoxiously broad statement like that. There's so much involved. I mentioned it. I mentioned scenarios where Carson Wentz or Nick Foles, they weren't the difference maker in games. It's a team game, especially that late. You're playing up against other really solid teams. Everyone's got to hold their own. Everyone. But I also know how sports work, and I get it. It comes down on the head coach if you lose, and it comes down on the quarterback because they're the most prized possessions in football. I get that side of it too, but I look at it differently. It's going to be one hell of an interesting season. Way too many storylines that are just insane, in my opinion. That's how I feel about it. But at the same time, it's football. I can't wait. Oh, by the way, once again, the draft is sneaking up on us. I can't believe the draft is literally Thursday. And I want to see the Eagles get a nice selection and someone who can step in and be solid on this roster to help us make that playoff push so we can shut Donovan up. You have Skip Bayless even. Oh, God, I don't watch or ever pay attention to anything people like that say, but, people like their tweets, and then it comes up on my timeline, and I just laugh. If Skip Bayless is saying something, it means the opposite is normally true. That's why I hate when he says something like, oh, the Sixers are going to win the first round. I'm like, oh, no. Oh. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is the news of the day here in Philly. See you guys next time.